Top stories on the news at 3 this afternoon. President Tinubu holds climate talks with King Charles III on COP28 sidelines in Dubai. Federal government expresses readiness to implement resolution of rehabilitation 2030 agenda. National Assembly assures President Tinubu accelerated consideration, passage of 2024 appropriation bill. Plus, intervention agency owed over 2 trillion naira, NDDC reveals. Good afternoon and welcome to the Rstv News at 3. I am Solomon Nelson Great. Do you love and care about River State and our peace? Let's build and take her to greater heights. This is a task we must accomplish. You can watch Rstv News live on YouTube and Facebook at Rstv Online. You can also subscribe and click the notification bell for update on our live feeds. Some prominent leaders of River State have expressed delight over the ruling of the Court of Appeal that has affirmed that Governor Siminala Ifubara won the 18 March 2023 governorship election. The leader spoke on the sidelines of the Emblem Appeal Fund launching in Port Harcourt that has kick-started the 2024 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration in Port Harcourt. Tamuno Barabi Ibulubo has the rest of the report.
Expressed by the leaders who spoke to me bordered on the fact that Rivers people did not make mistakes when they came out in large numbers on the election day to vote for Governor Fubara as their preferred choice. The Amayanabo of Cricket Kingdom, King Tamunomisiki Ogobe, and Eze Samuel Wankwo of Umokube Clan and Indoke said the Court of Appeal did right by upholding the decision of Rivers people that was expressed at the polls. According to them, it was time that other candidates and indeed all Rivers people rallied around the governor in order to contribute their quota to the continual development of the state.
Ordained him to be the governor of Rivers State, and we are always praying to the Almighty God to crown his success. He has started well, he will end well. Everybody should put hands together to move the state forward.
It's a good thing. God has vindicated the wishes of Rivers people. My advice is that we should shed our sword and support the government in power. We are Rivers people and the government means well for Rivers people.
On his part, the People's Democratic Party PDP leader of Imba Ward 18 in the Chill local government area, Anele Emmanuel, applauded the appeal court affirmation and said those contesting Governor Fubara's electoral victory do not stand a chance with evidence to overturn it.
We all expect it. The governor of Rivers State is a man of the people. His election is divine. The Lord is a God sent to Rivers State, and Rivers people came out en masse to vote him. I thank the judiciary, they've confirmed the mind of the people.
Tamuno Barabi Iblubo, Rstv News.
River State Police Command says it has taken note of a recent radio announcement in which Gift Opara, also known as Tubaba, a murder suspect declared wanted in connection with the killing of Superintendent of Police Bako Agbashim, former Divisional Police Officer of Ahuda Police Division River State, denies his involvement in the tragic incident. Public Relations Officer Grace Iringe Koko said while the police acknowledged the denial made by Gift Opara, it is important to emphasize that the principle of justice demands a fair hearing for all parties involved. According to the police understand the importance of listening to the other party, and it is crucial to note that everyone is considered innocent until proven otherwise. The River State Police Command urged Gift David Opara, alias also known as Tubaba, to come forward and submit himself to the authorities, providing the opportunity to present evidence that could support his claims of innocence, stressing that he should cooperate with law enforcement agencies to ensure a thorough and transparent resolution to the matter. The police are committed to upholding the principles of due process and are open to receiving any information that can aid in the ongoing investigation. President Bola Tinubu has met with British monarch King Charles III in Dubai ahead of the Climate COP28 summit. Sharing insights of the meeting on the official X handle, Tinubu touted the meeting as productive, emphasizing strengthened Nigeria-UK ties and shared dedication to climate advocacy. President Tinubu expressed confidence in setting an equitable global standard for environmental stewardship at the upcoming COP28. The COP28 of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change opened on Thursday in Dubai with a call to accelerate collective climate action. The conference is taking place in a year climate scientists said is the hottest ever in human history. In another development, President Bola Tinubu has confirmed the appointment of Wura Ola Adepoju as the substantive Controller General of the Nigerian Immigration Service. Adepoju, who has been serving as the Acting Controller General since May 29, 2023, disclosed the development to staff of the NIS during the Controller General's parade. She added that the date for her decoration would soon be announced. According to the new Controller General, several members of the top management team were also promoted to the ranks of Deputy Controllers General. Adepoju stated that the date of their decoration will be announced soon, as well, and also paid tribute to members of the service who died some weeks ago in the line of duty, praying for their souls to rest in peace, and announced that an endowment fund is being created by the service for the upkeep of the families of the deceased. Moving away from there, federal government has expressed readiness to implement resolutions of the Rehabilitation 2030 agenda with a view to integrate rehabilitation services into the universal health coverage in Nigeria. The Coordinating Minister of the Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, who disclosed this in an address at a stakeholders meeting on the Rehabilitation 2030 agenda in Abuja, said it is necessary as governments are held accountable for the welfare of their people in all and every area of life. Pate, who was represented by the head of regulatory bodies and professional school division at the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Opako, noted that the whole world had observed that the global trends in health and aging pose challenges to mankind. According to him, these challenges require scaling up rehabilitation services in countries around the world, and especially in the low and middle income countries, including Nigeria. He therefore said that strengthening healthcare systems in the LMICS, to which Nigeria belongs, is a direct response to an earlier call through the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. Senate President Godswill Akpabio and Speaker, House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas have assured President Tinubu that the 2024 appropriation bill would be accorded accelerated consideration and passage. The two presiding officers of the federal legislature gave the assurance when President Tinubu laid the 2024 national budget before a joint session of the National Assembly, which also had in attendance top government functionaries and politicians. Akpabio and Abbas urged the President to bar ministers and heads of federal government MDAs from embarking on foreign trips until the eventual passage of the bill, which they assured would be done before the end of the year. The duo expressed the hope that the executive arm would maximize the opportunity of the cordial relationship between it and the legislature by ensuring from prompt appearance before the various legislative committees to defend their budgets whenever they are invited to do so. Akpabio assured that though the fiscal document would be attended to with dispatch, the National Assembly would still carry out its constitutional responsibilities on it. Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives Benjamin Okezie Kalu has expressed the Chamber's readiness to support efforts that will increase more skilled health workers in the country and curtail the exodus seeking greener pastures abroad. Kalu disclosed this when he received a delegation from the Turkish company Dusead Group and Flexit Office Furniture Limited, led by its president Ahmed Kizizot in his office at the National Assembly, Abuja. In a statement by the Special Assistant on Press Affairs to the Deputy Speaker, Udora Orizu, Kalo decried the impact of the exodus of medical professionals from Nigeria, saying that it might lead to the importation of health services. Kalo called for mechanisms and structures to be put in place to refill and replace, noting that the nation's problem was not with numbers, but with skills. Commending the Turkish company for their interest in establishing a medical school which will focus on healthcare education and research, the Deputy Speaker said that Nigeria was ready to invest for investors to come in. Meanwhile, Ministers of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy, Wale Adun, and his counterpart in the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Senator Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, have defended the borrowing plan of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration as proposed in the 2024 appropriation bill. The ministers, who spoke with newsmen in Abuja after the budget presentation to a joint session of the National Assembly by Tinubu, said the arrangement was the best way to go. Their submissions were also supported by some opposition federal lawmakers who described the budget as a solution to the country's current economic challenges. Bagudu expressed confidence that Tinubu administration would ensure adequate implementation of the 2024 budget. On his part, Edun stated that the 27.5 trillion naira 2024 budget proposal was predicated on realistic assumptions and would be successfully implemented. The Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, Mustafa Ahmed, says agency would support states to develop contingency plans to enable communities understand the risks they face and linkages. Ahmed, who made this known at the unveiling of the National Contingency Plan for 2023 to 2025 in Abuja, said the plan was to prevent, prepare and respond to these risks. The Director General noted that the plan would not only safeguard lives and livelihoods, but also reinforce the country's resilience against natural disasters. Ahmed reiterated that preparedness was key to saving lives and minimizing the impact of emergencies. This is Rstv News at 3. Do you love and care about River State and our peace? Let's build and take it to greater heights. This is a task we must accomplish. You can always watch Rstv News live on YouTube at Rstv Online and Facebook at Rstv22PH Online. You can also subscribe and click the notification bell for update on our live feeds. Still to come on the news. Israel-Hamas truce in Gaza extended as more hostages freed. And COP28 President Sultan Al-Jaber urges delegates oil interest to cooperate as climate summit opens. Details and more after this break.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call 0700 225 5226, 0800 225 5226, or +234 817 665 6273. Let's work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC.
This is Rstv World News. We bring you world-class news, accurate, first-hand, entertaining. balanced analysis. Rstv, Channel 22 Port Harcourt.
You're welcome back. Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, Huriwa, has faulted President Bola Tinubu's recent reconstitution of the management board of the Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited, saying it breached judgment of a competent court of law. Addressing a press conference, the national coordinator of Huriwa, who spoke on behalf of Huriwa and coalition of 10 non-governmental bodies, Emmanuel Ombiko, noted that it was illegal for the president to have made the announcement since the federal government had appealed a federal high court's judgment. According to Huriwa, the rule of law is the cornerstone of any democratic society, and its principles must be upheld at all times. The recent appointments announced by President Tinubu raised serious concerns about the commitment of federal government to abide by the rule of law, especially when there is ongoing litigation related to the NNPC board. Group Chief Executive Officer, Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC Limited, Mele Kyari, has urged persons who have been issuing goodwill messages on its reappointment to stop forthwith. In a statement by NNPC's Chief Corporate Communications Officer, Olufemi Sonae, Kyari expressed gratitude to stakeholders and Nigerians for their enthusiasm regarding the reappointment by President Bola Tinubu, but the appeal that they halt the congratulatory messages. He stated that he viewed his reappointment as a renewed challenge, restated his commitment to stabilizing the oil industry and enhancing service delivery for increased revenue. Some persons, including a Niger Delta ex-militant, had taken out front-page editorials in selected Nigerian newspapers to congratulate the NNPC helmsman over his retention as the GCEO of the National Oil Company. He humbly appeals to stakeholders in the oil sector and fellow Nigerians to support the company under his leadership to ensure the success of its mandate. Managing Director of the Niger Delta Development Company, Dr. Sam Obuku, has made a startling revelation that the interventionist agency is being owed over 2 trillion naira. Obuku made the revelation while appearing before the Ibori Swenu-led House of Representatives Committee on NDDC. The NDDC boss described the sum as the accumulation of 15% of the allocation of the 9 oil-producing states, which, though due to the Commission since 2000, has never been paid. Sections 14, subsection 2A of the NDDC Act 2000 under financial provisions for reads as follows: there shall be paid and credited to the funds established pursuant to section 1 of this section A from the federal government, the equivalent of 15% of the total monthly statutory allocations due to member states of the Commission from the Federation account, this being the contribution of the federal government to the Commission. Obuku also lamented that despite the passing of the 2021, 2022 and 2023 budgets of the Commission, they were yet to get the funds till date. The federal government only budgets what it wants to give to the NDDC for any year, and that is what it will give. Even with the removal of fuel subsidy and with the increment of states allocation, NDDC is still where it is. Obuku, who assumed office in acting capacity in January this year, lamented that despite fast-tracking the approval for 3 years budgets of the Commission, the funds were yet to be released. And on the foreign scene, at least 23 people have died in a new cholera outbreak that hit communities displaced by recent flooding in eastern Ethiopia. A statement by the UK-based relief agency says more than 770 cases of cholera have been confirmed in just 2 weeks in the Somali region, the area worst hit by the recent flooding and unusually heavy rains. According to the statement, the downpours have affected 1.5 billion people across the country, with the numbers forced to leave their homes, reaching 600,000, but only 10% of those affected are currently receiving aid as Ethiopia continues to struggle with gaps in funding. More than 90 districts across Ethiopia have reported cases of cholera, with Save the Children warning the situation could worsen as more rains are expected in at least 3 regions. Report reaching Rstv newsroom desk says Israel and Hamas have agreed to extend their truce for another day, minutes before it was due to expire. The temporary ceasefire was extended for a 7th day following mediation with Qatar. The deal has led to the release of dozens of hostages kidnapped by Hamas in exchange for Palestinians held in prisons and aid deliveries into Gaza. Just yesterday, 16 more hostages taken captive by Hamas were released, as were 30 Palestinians. So far, some 101 Israeli hostages have been freed, while 210 Palestinians prisoners have been released and about 140 Israeli remain in captivity. Israel's military said the temporary ceasefire was being extended in light of the mediators' efforts to continue the process of releasing the hostages and subject to the terms of framework. The Prime Minister's office subsequently confirmed the extension, saying it had received a new list of women and children hostages, though it did not specify how many names were on the list. UN Climate Conference opens in Dubai with nations under pressure to increase the urgency of action on global warming and wean themselves of fossil fuels amid intense scrutiny of oil-rich host UAE. CEO of the UAE's national oil company ANOC, Sultan Al Jaber, acknowledged in a text version of his opening remarks that there were strong views about the idea of including language of fossil fuels and renewables in the negotiated text. Jaber noted that many national oil companies had adopted net zero targets for 2050. The 2-week-long climate negotiations being held this year in the glitzy Gulf city come at a pivotal moment, with emissions still rising, and this year likely to be the hottest in human history. Britain's King Charles III, world leaders, activists, and lobbyists are among more than 97,000 people expected to attend what is being billed as the largest climate gathering of its kind. The UN and hosts, the United Arab Emirates, say these talks, known as COP28, will be the most important since Paris in 2015, when nations agreed to limit global warming to well below 2 centigrade since the pre-industrial era, preferably to a safer limit of 1.5 centigrade. In our entertainment, to walk down the aisle with a woman who is much older takes discipline, maturity, and most importantly, emotional intelligence. I agree with this. To thrive in a society like Nigeria, turning deaf ears to critics is essentially in enjoying one's marriage, especially when dealing with older women, as many think it is really weird for a man to marry a woman much older than him. However, this has worked well for some celebrities. Mevs Victor takes a look at celebrities with older wives.
In this part of the world, getting married to an individual of the same age bracket is applauded and appreciated, same as walking down the aisle with a much younger lady. However, there is a sudden disregard for women who choose to end up with younger men. Here are 5 celebrities who are married to older wives. 50-year-old Lola is married to Peter Okoye, one half of the popular twin duo P-Square. Peter's wife Lola is said to be 9 years older than him. The duo dated for 7 years before finally settling down in marriage. R&B star and his serial entrepreneur wife, Dare and Deola At Alade, got married in February 2007 and are blessed with 2 lovely children. This is another couple who have proved to us that age is just a number when it comes to marriage. Big Brother Naija peppered them runner-up, professional athlete and entrepreneur Mike Edwards got married to British Olympian Perry in 2019. Perry is 34, while her husband Mike Edwards is 32 years old. Nigerian comedian MC Fish is married to Nollywood actress Anita Joseph. MC Fish is 30 years of age while his wife Anita Joseph is 37. The couple as of 2022 are 8 years apart in age, but that doesn't stop them from expressing their happiness. Nollywood actor Stanley Nze Diegu, also known as Stan Nze, and his wife Blessing Obasi have a wide age gap between them. The actor got married to his producer-cum-actress wife in September 2021, and Stan is 10 years younger than his wife.
Wait till me they take my destiny, do my destiny here. My destiny not get used now. More everything give them. Oh yeah, more give them. My destiny, our destiny. Take all of them. Take all of them. Give us ours. Give us weight. Take all of them.
Mavis Victor, Rstv Entertainment News.
Well, what does society say about younger people marrying older people? Is it younger women marrying older men? Well, it is left for society to decide. And in sports, Super Falcons interim head coach Justin Madugu has explained the reason for Ashley Plumpre's absence from the team. The centre back has not been invited by Magudu since representing Nigeria at the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup in the summer. Plumpre was one of the top performers for the Super Falcons at the competition co-hosted by Australia and New Zealand. The 25-year-old have made 15 appearances for the Super Falcons. The Super Falcons will take on Cape Verde in our 2024 Women's African Cup of Nations qualifier at the Moshood Abiola Stadium, Abuja on Thursday. That is today. Well, that's it on the news, but just before we leave, a quick reminder, if you love River State and care about her peace, then let's